A horny loser gets run over by a truck after attempting to save some unknown teenagers. While he is dying, he hears a language that he has never heard before. Then realizes he has just been reborn in a different world as a child named Rudius, with all of his memories and past trauma intact. This is the Grey Rat household. It's a place where all the constant begging is enough to drive anybody nuts, even the maid, and I mean all the maids. With how fast his child brain can absorb information, he makes use of this by practicing reading, writing, and magic day in and day out, always passing out in the process. Rudius' parents took notice of his talent and hires a teacher named Roxy, who turns out to be just as horny as everybody else when he sees her masturbating. He occasionally spies on her and even stole her underwear at one point, which their maid Lilia keeps a secret. After Roxy had left after curing Rudius of his past trauma, he saves a boy from being bullied named Sylph, who he later realizes to be a girl named Sylphiette. Sylphiette is partly elf, so she has a good aptitude for magic, but even more than that, she's one of the few who are able to cast magic without incantations, although she had to learn the skill from Rudius, who can do it naturally. It didn't take her long to do it, but Roxy was never able to. Zenith, Rudius' mother, announces that she is pregnant, with Lilia doing the same shortly after, leaving the house in complete suspense, prompting Rudius to save her from leaving the house by lying. In this new world of his, Rudius wants to go to school and is given a job to tutor his uncle's slightly older child, Ares, who is very impulsive and aggressive, causing Rudius to run away from her due to her rough and violent tendencies. The two are kidnapped as a result of Rudius' failed attempt to get Ares to recognize him. They make their escape and are chased down by the smugglers and are nearly killed, until Ares' bodyguard Ghislaine saved them just in time. Ares accepts Rudius and began her training, with Ghislaine opting to join in as well. Due to her impulsive nature, Ares always runs away when she gets mad or tired from studying, with Rudius proving himself to be quite intelligent who somehow find his way around this. Occasionally. Ares' birthday is coming up and Rudius helps teach her how to dance, but she always instinctively outpaces the steps, helping Rudius to make her think that she's in a fight, enabling her to stay in sync. Ares' mother wants Ares to marry Rudius and her grandfather wants to make Rudius one of the heads of the family, with Ares' father proposing the same. But Rudius declines this offer as he wants no part in the power struggle, but still finds Ares in his room after he returns. Rudius' first and direct sister is named Non and the other is Aisha. Their constant crying made Lilia remark how hard is it to raise a child since things with young Master Rudius were much too easy. Well, makes sense, he is a grown-up in a child's body after all. A horny grown-up to be exact. A few years later, the girls are bigger and Aisha is working as a maid in her own house. What the hell? Moving on, it's time for Rudius to graduate Ares and Ghislaine, but are attacked by an unknown assailant and immediately caught in a giant Manazod explosion, and find themselves teleported halfway across the world next to a man named Ruijerd, who they were initially afraid of, Ares especially. In their journey to get back home, they traveled alongside Ruijerd and ended up passing through Roxy's home, where Rudius promised Ruijerd to clear his name due to Ruijerd being part of the infamous Super Tribe. To get more money, the team set out to become adventurers. After meeting a mysterious white figure in his dream known as the Man God, Rudius comes up with a plan to cheat the adventuring system but cause the death of a few after making some poor decisions in one of these endeavors, causing Rudius to be at odds with him. Back in town, a man attempts to blackmail them for cheating, but an emotional Rudius almost kills him. However, Rudius stops this by revealing himself as a superior to the masses. Later on, they meet up and reignite their friendship. They went ahead to cross the sea, with Roxy coming in from the other side. However, they miss each other while the team prepares to board the ship, but discover that the price is way too high. Once again, Rudius has an encounter with the mysterious white figure, and is directed to Back Alley, where he meets a demon lord child who bestows upon him a visual prowess that grants him precognition. With this, Rudius effortlessly defeats Ares, even though he has never been able to do so in the past. At night, Rudius attempts to sell his magic staff only for Ruijerd to stand in the way. A man that Rudius previously saved offers them a deal to smuggle Ruijerd across the ocean, which they agree, and Ares is revealed to have a severe case of seasickness. After their arrival on the island, Rudius goes to retrieve Ruijerd, who then proceeds to kill the guards and free some captured children, but one of them has already been killed. Soon after, Rudius was mistaken for one of the smugglers and was taken prisoner for 4 days when another man was brought in for cheating, called Geese. The village is suddenly attacked at night and the man that helped them across the ocean is revealed to be the mastermind and the lolicon. After a gruesome battle, the smugglers are defeated and Rudius lost consciousness. When he wakes up, he finds Ares and Ruijerd waiting for him, and the beastfolk are revealed to be Ghislaine's family, whose whereabouts are unknown to Ares and Ruijerd since the mana explosion. After spending a season in the village, it is time for them to leave. But Ghislaine's brother challenges Ares to a duel, but it ends quick enough that it leaves Rudius clueless as to what happened. They leave the village along with Geese, who was imprisoned with Rudius. Gears explains to Rudius a few of the world's facts that he was unaware of. After arriving in the city of Melis, they part ways with Gears, who is then later revealed to be an acquaintance of Rudius' father, Paul. Now a year and a half has passed since the mining disaster. Rudius attempts to rescue a kidnapped boy easily overpowering his adversary, but is then overpowered by a man who is revealed to be Paul. Paul explains to Rudius how everyone in that country have gone missing, scattered across the world including themselves, and is disappointed that Rudius never read his message to look for the others. The two have a fight and Paul is defended by a girl who Rudius easily recognizes to be his younger sister Noan. However, she refuses to acknowledge him. Everything that happened triggers memories of being shot in his past life and Rudius left. The next day, Gears convinces Paul to make up with Rudius, which he does, and the two reconcile, but Nancy refuses to accept him. They part ways and Rudius then again meets the man god who reveals Aisha's location, but instructs Rudius not to tell her who he is. Rudius wakes up in a ship and for some reason is revealed to be seasick alongside Ares, even though he was completely fine the trip before. Rudius finds Aisha and asks her what she thinks about her older brother. Disappointed to find out that both of his sisters see him as a failure in their minds, which is why the man god told him not to tell her who he is. Rudius goes to the royal palace to free Lilia, but is immediately imprisoned. But a man comes in holding a figurine of Roxy that Rudius made years ago. Feeling loyalty toward Rudius for making such a masterpiece, he helps Rudius escape while Eris and Richard free the others. Lilia reunites with Rudius and Aisha reveals that she has already figured out who he is, and goes on to reunite with her dad. Not long after, they run into the dragon god, and as a misunderstanding, the group is defeated and Rudius is similarly killed, but he survived from being healed just in time. The two part ways with Richard and found Ghislaine in a camp led by Eris's people. Eris took the initiative and deflowers Rudius. Whoa! He wouldn't brag about that when they woke up, and this was before he realized she was gone. For the first time in his new life, Rudius cried like an actual kid. And that's it. What is today's featured animal? A Komodo dragon. Reaching 10 meters long and weighing 300 pounds, Komodo dragons are the biggest and heaviest lizards on the planet. Just so you know, these things are faster than you. Komodo dragon saliva contains over 20 million different bacteria, which leads to a very poisonous bite. Meaning if it gets to you, you will die within a few hours without medical attention. Reminds me of that time I played Far Cry 3. One of the places that can be found is the Indonesian islands of Komodo, hence the name. And that's the video. Subscribe for more content like this, and until next time.